with Democratic Senator Conrad of North Dakota. He's chairman of the Budget Committee, also a member of the Gang of Six, which we're going to talk about a little bit as well. Senator, nice to have you back with us.
Good to be with you.
We're hearing some reports that Democrats will drop the millionaire surtax, which was part of their deal to get the payroll tax cut extension. Do you think that's a good idea?
Look, I think it would be preferable to pay for the continuation of the payroll tax cut that benefits 160 million people by asking those who make more than $1 million a year to pay a slight increase of less than 2%. And that's, again, on earnings over $1 million. They'd pay nothing on earnings up to $1 million. So I think that's reasonable. But Republicans have made clear they would rather have 160 million people have a tax increase averaging $1,000 than to ask those earning over $1 million to pay a little bit more. So I don't think at the end of the day we can allow the payroll tax cut to end. That would hurt the economy. That would cost about 1 million jobs according to independent economic analysis. So we've got to find an alternative. That's what we're working on right now, and some good progress has been made this morning.
Tell us a little bit about that progress.
Well, we're finding ways that we can both agree to in terms of paying for these things. One of the things that's being discussed is war cost. With troops coming home, that means there is savings over what the congressional budget has estimated for the next 10 years in war cost.
Are those real savings? Is that real savings, Senator? Because sometimes we've heard that, you know, if the troops are planning on coming home, so to say that their savings is sort of obvious, where you're not really doing the harder work to go and pull back some spending that we should be on another pet project somewhere.
You know, the groups I've been part of, the Fiscal Commission, the Group of Six, we've stayed away from using that offset.
Right.
But the Congressional Budget Office does say that there is about $700 billion of savings there that could be used. Look, I would prefer to do it a different way. I would prefer that we make a little tougher choices because it'll be more lasting and more sustainable. And I very much fear that, you know, if we get into another conflict, the budget for it is not going to be determined by numbers on a page.
Well, we want to talk about your way,
security.
Senator. We want to talk about your way because we know that you were part of one of the first bipartisan efforts to figure out what to do with this deficit. And we've talked about the Gang of Six, and the Gang of Six was the first group out there. I understand that you guys had a meeting last night. It sounds like you're still working, so we'd like to know a little bit about the status of the Gang of Six and what's your next step. What do you feel like your next step is going into the new year to really get some deficit reduction here?
Well, we've now expanded to a group of 8, 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans. We have spent, as you know, hundreds of hours. We have made real progress, made more progress again yesterday, and I'm very hopeful that in the new year our colleagues can be convinced on all sides.
Does that mean
that we really have to?
I'm sorry to interrupt.
We really have. No problem. That we really have to move forward and take on this debt threat in a very serious way.
And it seems a lot of our viewers agree with that. And I was just wanting to get specific on that about what exactly you're going to do that. Does that mean bringing the Bowles-Simpson plan and making that into legislation and putting that on the floor and getting a vote on it?
Bowles-Simpson, which I was also part of, that was the President's Fiscal Commission. As you know, we had 11 of the 18 commissioners there agree, 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans, 1 independent. And then the group of 6, 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans, tried to put meat on the bones, tried to turn that into a legislative proposal. I think the work of those 2 groups will really form the guts of whatever is done.
Just a final thought. It sounds like you have some things ahead, and you're continuing to do work that everyone knows the country needs. But in the process, we've had this battle, this hyper-partisanship in D.C., and it's damaging to the confidence of the people in the country that, 1, Washington is working, and 2, that we can actually do something to achieve the goal, which is deficit reduction. How damaging do you think it's been the last couple months to trying to achieve the ultimate goal that you want to achieve next year?
That's not been helpful, but you know what? The sun comes up tomorrow, and we've got an opportunity, we've got a challenge, and you know, this country is better. We're better than all of this. Congress is better than this, and we've got to prove it, and this is going to be an opportunity. So let's all join hands and do what we know needs to be done for our country.
We appreciate your thoughts as always and appreciate that assurance as well. Senator, I look forward to having more conversations with you on this, and we thank you again for joining us today.
Merry Christmas.
To you too, sir.